Hello, it's Anna here. Been away for quite some time, but I'm back at it. Now, I have these several alcohol ink backgrounds sitting in my drawer because I made these several weeks ago and I just had so much fun playing with all kinds of different colors and gold mixatives, silver and gold foil and all the fun. So I decided to cut these down to create slimline cards. I really like using alcohol ink backgrounds for cards, especially slimline, since they give so much color, texture, and just interest. And I don't really have to do much more to the card than just add die cuts and flowers and stuff. Now, I use different kinds of sizes for any card. This particular paper is an A4 size. It is similar to 8.5 and 11 in the US, but some differences, but quite close to it. So I'm just measuring the slimline card itself and seeing how much I want to cover the card. And since the slimline is the width of 3.5 inches, I believe I use 2.5-ish inches of the alcohol ink background for the cards. And I chose to work with these red ones for now. And actually cut these 3 pieces, but I did have one left over, so I will add that to the setup in the end. And I'm using my ATG gun, my favorite adhesive, just love it. And I'm just basically adding that in a straight line and hoping for the best, really. I mean, look at those colors. These are just, oh, beautiful. And if there's anything hanging over, I'll just use my small trusty trimmer and cut that off. No biggie if the card is like 1/16 of an inch smaller. I'm all right with that. Let's not worry too much, shall we? Then just using my bone folder to reinforce the folding line. And I really love using those larger pieces of the Yupo paper to create the backgrounds because you get so many different kinds of patterns. Like there's no planning whatsoever when I use my alcohol inks. I'm just having fun all the way, just mixing and adding and all the fun stuff. So I love how they become same but different. I guess is what I'm trying to figure out. And these alcohol inks are just so much fun. And usually when I do this, I also scan my finished piece because I love using those to create journals and stuff. So they could be used over and over again. So now I have these 3 card bases made. And now I want to add a bit more gold and interest to the card. So I'm using my trusty die set from Altenew called Just Leaves, I believe. I'll have links to everything I use down below. And this has been a favorite for years. I just love it. It is perfect die set to use on all those paper scraps that you have. And I have so many specialty paper scraps that I just use in all kinds of projects. Love that. And I'm just die cutting a bunch of these so I can choose what I want to use for this project. And plus I will have loads and loads of sparkly leaves left over to use on any other project. I love that. And it's quite handy when you have longer nails to use them to poke these out. Makes it even faster. And now I'm just basically making these ready and taking all those tiny little bits and putting those in that little bin. I mean, look at that sparkle. Oh, just love it. I'm a sucker for gold. Anything that sparkles, really. So now I've kind of put them together in the similar size and design. And I'm just figuring out where I want to put them and stuff. I'm sorry if I'm a bit out of frame for some parts. We moved house last summer, and I'm still just trying to figuring out how to set up my camera in my new craft room. I haven't quite figured it out yet, so this is not perfect, but it will do for now. But I'm trying to figure out how to do these the best I can. But you're not missing much. It's just the bottom of my card, and I'm only putting those die cuts on the front, so basically you're not missing any rocket science stuff. Not nearly. And I'm just using my clear blocks to add a bit of weight to the die cut so it dries flatter and the adhesive doesn't, well, become non-sticky, I guess. Handy to have these blocks, really handy. And like I said, I'm just using those dies, putting them whenever, wherever, just to make it look pretty. I will be putting a flower at the center where these leaves meet, so that position isn't too much a worry about because a large flower will be covering that part anyway. And I'm actually trying to use my Prima Marketing flower stash. I have had some of these flowers for years and they are no longer available anywhere, at least not that I can find. So I'm trying to use up my beautiful floral stash so that I can buy even more pretty flowers. And talking about stash, the rather old stash, I have so many beautiful Prima crystals that I'm also trying to use. I mean, they are pretty and I love looking at them and having them on my shelves and stuff, but girl, you gotta use your stuff. And I'm trying to do that. So I'm trying to use up some of these crystals on these cards because they are pretty, but one must use one's stash. And here is card number 2. And I really love this larger die from the die set. This is just absolutely beautiful. It could be a focal point to any card. And I had these on every single one. And then I might switch up the leaves at the bottom row from time to time. And oh, like I said, I just love all the sparkly bits. Just, there's never too much glitter on anything craft related, I would say. And these are very old crystals. Actually, they're like tiny resin flowers. I absolutely love those. Beautiful. And on this card, I used my beautiful graphic 45 pearls, which have been discontinued. But I have a handful. Not too much left at the moment, but I do have some of those. I really love using those. And so I made these 3 cards. And since I had this one piece left over, I thought I might as well use it and get the 4th card done. This one was a larger piece covering the background almost completely. I didn't quite measure it, but I'm guessing it's like 1/8 of an inch, kind of a border. And then I used those same beautiful die cuts to create the background for the floral. And this time I decided to add a bit of 3D foam tape to the smaller leaves, just to give it a bit more texture and depth, because you have all these pretty leaves, so adding a bit more height to your project is quite easy with 3D foam. So I'll just put that on some of those leaves, not the whole piece, and just place them where I want it. I mean, look at how pretty that is. And those leaves are a bit larger than the ones on the larger piece that I glued down first. And I learned that it has, of course, a different kind of texture and imagery to the background than the skinnier leaves do. So fun mixing and matching different kinds, just love that. And it all sparkles like glittering gold, so it can't go wrong, can it? I don't think so. Then I also add a flower to the center of this card as well as I did with the other 3 ones. And then, of course, I'm adding a bit of pearls or gems, and I use the Graphic 45 ones for this one in the gold. I seem to use gold the most. I love this. They add so much with such little effort, but without them, it wouldn't be as pretty. Or at least I think so. So that's 3 of the cards done. And thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you very, very soon with another crafty video. Until next time, bye.